Hello and welcome to Queenie's Card of the Month. We're doing the Major Arcana cards of the month still, and this is the card of the month for January 2013. So we made it to the new year. How has that been for you? In December we had the Star card, and that seemed to be a message about regaining hope and inspiration and expansion by focusing on gratitude, what you were grateful for. Had that challenge, list 10 things you were grateful for. What's interesting about that challenge is that I issued that challenge and I started doing it pretty regularly, and then I got really sick. Pardon me. And so, but I continued to do it as often as I remembered, even in my bronchitis state. But I hope that last month went really well for you. We closed out the year, probably tied up a lot of loose ends energetically, and now we've begun the year with a new Major Arcana card in the spiral cycle of Major Arcana cards. We've went from 17 to card number 2, which is the High Priestess card. So what this tells me is, after last month of really building up hope and inspiration, and the Star is kind of about being seen and expanding a little bit. After that month was about gratitude and being grateful for what you have. This month with the High Priestess is about knowing, your inner knowing. It's also about potential. So, it kind of makes sense that a January card would be kind of an inner card as opposed to an outer expansive card. The High Priestess is full of potential. She's card number 2 in the Major Arcana. It starts with the Fool, which is like the leap of faith that we take at the beginning of something. The Fool is like the beginning. The Magician has all his tools in front of him, and he's the idea. And the High Priestess is like the potential of it, where you gather the knowledge, where you acknowledge that you have that knowledge. And so the High Priestess, in some tarot decks, you can see her, she's pregnant. She's pregnant with the knowledge. And, and the next card is the Empress, where she gives birth and radiates and gets help and everything like that and shines, and it's a lot more playful. But with the High Priestess, it's not that it's less playful, it's just that she can be kind of serious. So January is a month to reflect. January is a month to, maybe after tying up as many loose ends as you could in December, January is where you really kind of do the cleanup and the resting and the reflection after quite a year. 2012 was quite a year for a lot of people, and maybe that's a sweeping generalization, but for me it was quite a year. So I can imagine that those of you that have chosen to watch this video, it was probably quite a year for you too. Ups, downs, in between. I feel, to recap last year, is that it was the year that I had to get real about stuff. And that sounds kind of ridiculous, but it wasn't that I had to, okay, so it's not that I had to get real, it's that I had to accept the reality of many things over the course of the year. Many kind of fairy tale things that I had really counted on and hung on to for dear life had to be modified, had to be adjusted, had to be made more real. And I had to accept what that reality was. And, 9 times out of 10, the reality of it wasn't that bad, really. And I grew a lot. So the High Priestess is about acknowledging these things and thinking about these things and being comfortable with just being full of potential and not quite ready to take any sort of action or expansion yet. The High Priestess is wise, and she just knows. She accesses her intuition. It's perfect for the winter time. It's perfect when it's gloomier outside, or when it's raining, or maybe you're somewhere where there's snow and it's dark all the time. Well, it's the perfect card for that, because it's time to stop, go within, and listen for your own information. So we've got January 2013. I can't believe it. 2013. Didn't we just begin 2012? Anyway, so January 2013 is the High Priestess card in the Major Arcana. So we are at the third card in, but this card number 2 of the Major Arcana. So if you look at it as a cycle, like I said, we started with the Fool, and then we went to the Magician, who had all the tools and had access to Spirit. And then after the Magician did his work, he took the Spirit within, the Spirit inside, and got to know it as the High Priestess. So this month is about that. Okay, we've accessed that frequency and that vibration. Now it's time to take it inside and integrate it. It's a time of integrating, and it's a time of being full of potential and knowledge and understanding and accepting that we all have our own inner wisdom. It's just whether we choose to access it or not. So, Happy New Year. It's January 2013. We pulled the High Priestess card this month. And speaking of accessing your intuition, I am planning on rolling out a lot of different things this next year. And one of the things that I'm interested in doing more with people is something that I call journey work, which is hypnotherapy, except I kind of intuitively go along. So we've accomplished all kinds of things with that, whether it's past life regression, rescuing your inner child, or any other type of energetic work, meeting your guides, whatever it is. I've been able to do it with people, and to really good results. So I'm going to be making some offerings over the next year about this type of thing. If you're interested in any of that, or have any questions and want to get some tips on how to access your own inner High Priestess, contact me. Let me know. I wish you a wonderful new year. I feel really good about where this is going, and really confident about the flow, being tapped into the flow. And I appreciate you and love you very much, and hope however this finds you that you're doing great. Slow down a little bit this month, reflect, acknowledge how far you've come, and also acknowledge that you're wise, that you have access to your own wisdom. See you next month.